Hello, everybody. We are going live because we have a training in the office that starts at 3 o'clock. We're going to have Main Street organizations of realtors rep come out here and teach us some wonderful things about, I think, the MLS. So I just want to go live real quick and talk about the HUD $100 down payment program. I get a lot of people that ask me, what's the credit score? How's that possible? Yeah, right. How sway? It's real, like seriously. So I have these flyers that are here in my office. HUD Home, $100 down. The properties just have to be a HUD property, and you can buy it with only $100 down. No other requirements. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have a certain credit score. There are no income requirements. As long as you have a 580 credit score and you qualify for FHA financing, your down payment is $100. If your loan officer tells you, oh, no need to do the $100 down payment program, that's a headache or that's a pain, I would advise you to find someone who knows how to do it. I hear that often. I've had loan officers come into my office and tell me that that's just a pain and that it's a headache to do, but it's not. It's a simple process. You actually write the contract, and on the contract you write $100 as the down payment, and that's all you have to do. Really simple, really easy. Do you have to live in it? You have to purchase the property with FHA financing, which means that you are going to be an owner-occupant for at least 12 months. However, let's say you want to get into real estate investing. You'll buy your first property, which I did as an owner-occupant. I lived in the property, and after 12 months, you can turn around and refinance it into a conventional loan, and then you can do the process all over again and buy another house for $100 down. Hey, Reggie. You are welcome. So yes, you have to keep it for at least 12 months, and then in 12 months you can refinance it, buy another house, and do it all over again. You can keep going. So that answers that question. The $100 down payment program can be also used for renovating a property. You could do a renovation loan, 203K. Let's say you buy a house for $50,000 and it's worth $150,000. You can buy the house, renovate the house, and only pay $100 down. You can then turn around, refinance it later, turn it into investment property, and then buy something else. So let's say you buy a building, 2-unit building. You can buy up to 4 units, by the way. $100 down, rehab the property, turn around, refinance the property, and then buy another property for $100 down. So HUD has a requirement that you can only buy one owner-occupant property every 24 months. You can buy as many as you want as an investor, but you do have to wait 24 months before you can buy another one. For FHA, you have to keep it for 12 months, but for HUD buying as an owner-occup, you have to keep it for 24. You can buy one as an owner-occup every 24 months. Well, Reggie, if you have that $100, let's go. Get a property. It's so worth it. Any other questions anybody may have, feel free to leave the questions in the comments and I will answer them. Hey, Ray. We're having training today. Wish you could be here, and the flowers look nice. They're holding up very well. So $100 down. Corey Singleton does these down $100 down payment programs all the time. Miss Shannon had a closing not too long ago with the $100 down. I've done them. I do them all the time. It's so worth it. Let's see. Let's talk about the difference between doing IDA $7,500 down versus the $100 down. Let's say you want to do the grant for $7,500. Well, the grant money is really just an interest-free loan, and you have to keep the property for, I think it's 5 years. Am I right, y'all? 5 years, IDA? I think 5 years. And then it's forgiven. So it's really just an interest-free loan. IDA sets their own interest rates as well, and you have to have a credit score of a 660 to get approved for IDA. So $7,500 down payment assistance, you got to have a 660 credit score, and you got to keep the property for at least 5 years, or it becomes a loan that has to be repaid if you sell before the 5 years is up. So if you don't quite have the 660 credit score, the way to go is to buy a HUD property. HUD properties are on the HUD website, which is www.hudhomestore.com, or you go to my personal website, KasanWallace.com, and there's a link, I think, on there. I got a blog post about it, actually. It'll take you right over to the HUD website. So don't think that you're restricted either for buying a property, because HUD has the largest inventory out of all of the companies out there. They have more inventory than anybody. And you can really search their website and find some really, really good deals. So I encourage you to search the website, purchase a HUD property, utilize the $100 down payment program, live in the property for a couple years, turn around and sell it and make you some money, or turn around and rent it out and then do it all over again. You want to start buying investment property, you don't know how. The easiest way to go is to buy your first piece of property. Let that property be your investment property. Your first property should not be the property that you want. It should not be your dream home. It should be a starting point to help you build wealth, okay? My first property, like I tell the story all the time, was a HUD property. I lived in it and I fixed it up while I stayed in the property. I rehabbed the kitchens. I think I changed the vanity in the bathroom. I put laminate floors in it. I painted it really nice, and I sold it for double of what I paid for it, all while I lived there. So that's what you should do. First property should be just a property that's gonna be temporary. Live there temporarily, then move and upgrade yourself later. The sooner you start, if you don't have a house, the better off you will be. So you gotta start somewhere. You should buy now while you're young, especially, so that when you're more mature in age, then you'll have a nice little nest egg you're sitting on, or you'll have a few rental properties too. So grab those rentals now. Let them be, the starting point to help you build wealth. On the website now, thanks. Sure, Reggie, HUDHomestore.com. That website, HUDHOMESTORE.com. You can look at properties in all states as well, not just Illinois. You can see what Indiana has, everywhere. So check it out. North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. I'm on there all the time looking at stuff in Florida, because I'm going to buy me a house in Florida that I can go visit, especially during the winter, so I can get away from this place. So check it out. You'll get a good deal. Atlanta has some really good stuff too, and Texas. Any other questions, feel free to inbox me and I will answer them. But, or here, I'll hang around for a little bit longer.
Where?
Before I leave. Show y'all what we got going on in the office. Let's see, it's been a while. Brina's over there at the front desk. Tanisha and Shannon. There's Tony, he's on the phone, everybody's working. Say hey, Jermaine.
Hey, everybody.
Jermaine is here.
Hey, y'all.
Shannon said hey.
Build wealth through real estate.
Build
That's
wealth
my goal.
through.
Want to know how to make some money? Call me.
Yep, call Shannon. Help you through real estate. Hey, Ken Jones has joined. So if you have questions, we talked about the HUD $100 down. We talked about the website. What else can we talk about? Last time I did this, we covered a lot. Oh, let's talk about this real quick. So, let's say you're in the process of buying a house. You're under contract and you're just waiting to close. Do not, under any circumstances, go and have your credit ran. Don't go buy a car. Don't go to Harlem Furniture and say, "Ooh, let me just charge it." No, if you do those things, you buy a car or you go buy furniture, you're gonna be living on the couch, on the roof of the car. Like, you just won't be able to get the house. So let's just stay away from having your credit ran when you are under contract and you're waiting to close on a house. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Exactly. Forget that you exist. Pretend like you're an illegal alien. Don't remember your social security number until you close. Just forget that you're here. Like, you don't even exist. You wait, because that can harm you. True story. It happened this week. Okay? Somebody bought a car Luckily, it worked out, and they're going to close tomorrow. But you don't want to do that. Those are things that you do not do.
Don't take
Do's
your
and don'ts.
credit card and max it out.
Yeah, if you got current credit cards, don't go spend anything on them. Leave the credit cards alone. Oh, let's also talk about this myth. I don't have any credit. I can't buy a house. I have no credit. Or I need to go get a credit card. Well, really, you don't. Let's see what you got on there first before you go and say, I need to get additional credit. Because if you're paying a cell phone bill or you're paying rent, if you have utility bills in your name, those things can be considered lines of credit. So you don't have to necessarily go out and get new credit. You can use the bills that you're paying to count as trade lines. So before you go out and take it upon yourself, let me go get a credit card and charge it, I would definitely check with my loan officer before doing it. Don't consult with your loan officer first. Don't take it upon yourself to do certain things. Even when you're paying credit off. So I'll have a lot of clients that will say, I need to pay off, this bill, that bill, and this bill first, when technically, you may have more important bills that need to be taken care of first. So let your loan officer tell you what to pay off. Judgments, tax liens, things like that are gonna be, way more important than collections. You can have, Comcast screw people up too, but we want to take care of judgments and tax liens, things like that first. So let your loan officer tell you what to do first before you go out and pay off stuff on your own. That's important as well. What else can we talk about? I got about 12 minutes before my training starts. What else? Give me some ideas. My brain ain't working today.
Tell her to give you a range.
All they talking about. What y'all want me to talk about?
Let them know about the income taxes, when purchasing property.
Tax returns?
No, well, that too, and the taxes on the property that they're buying, how that impacts their mortgage.
Oh, property taxes. We're going to talk about tax returns and income taxes, but let's talk about property taxes. So, property taxes are so important when you're buying. Okay, you could be pre-approved to $200,000, but the real question is, how much did your loan officer estimate the taxes to be? Did he estimate you possibly living in the city of Chicago or living in the suburbs? If you're living in the suburbs with that $200,000 pre-approval and the property tax is around $7,000 a year, that $200,000 pre-approval now is $120,000, $110,000. Property taxes are so important. If you're living in the city of Chicago, you could possibly afford more because property taxes are really low. So that's important. A lot of people get upset because they have a certain house in mind that they want, and the house is $120, and their pre-approval amount is $120, but they don't understand the property taxes make a difference in your mortgage payment. It has to be included, and if the taxes alone are $500 or $600 a month, and you haven't even added the mortgage in there, it makes a huge difference. So that's key. High property taxes will kind of kill a deal, so that's important. Assessments and condos and subdivisions. Oh yeah. So if you're buying a condo as well, the assessment fees for a condo have to be included in your mortgage as well. That makes a difference too. So let's say you're going to buy a condo. Sometimes a condo can be more expensive than a house because you have to pay property taxes on the condo plus assessment fees plus the price of the condo. So that all makes a difference. You're better off in some cases, depending on where the condo is, just buying a house. So a lot of times my clients will come, I want a condo. I want to have a low mortgage payment. Well, technically it might be the same as buying a $100,000 house, versus getting a $50,000 condo. Sometimes it's cheaper actually to get a house than having a condo. So that all makes a difference. And then we're going to talk about these tax returns. So we talked about property tax, let's talk about tax returns. Tax season comes up and everybody's running to file their taxes and they want the biggest refund they could possibly get. We want back 10 racks from the IRS. This is what we want. However, at what cost are we getting back these 10 racks? If you're planning on buying a house and you're going to file your tax return, now we've already, left, tax season has come and gone, so we're going to prepare you for 2018 right now. Don't go trying to deduct every single thing in life on your tax return so you can get back the biggest refund possible, because it can mess you up, especially if you are self-employed. Deducting too much on your taxes can hurt you when it comes to purchasing a house. So we want to make sure that our tax returns, if we know the plan for our life ahead of time, we know we're going to buy a house, we want to consult with the loan officer early on. You know, we don't want to wait until we're ready, we find a house, and then get pre-approved. Talk to a loan officer early on and let them tell you what your tax return should look like, so that when you're ready to purchase in 2018, you can, you know, buy what you want, so your taxes don't mess you up. I sat down with my loan officer, Mr. Corey Singleton, 2 years before I bought my house, because I'm self-employed, and said, all right, tell me what to do, and I'm gonna do it. How much money do I need to make? How much should I deduct, you know, in expenses? What does it need to look like? I did exactly what he told me to do, and I bought my house. Being self-employed is way more difficult to purchase. So especially if you're self-employed, you want to consult with your loan officer before you do anything, before you make any moves, before you file a tax return, anything. You want to consult with your loan officer first. You have to map out your life and know what you're trying to do. I don't believe in waiting. It's called being proactive and not reactive. Being reactive is the worst thing in the world. So create a plan, know what you want to do, map it out first. Talk to your loan officer now, even if you're planning on buying a house 2 years from now, so that you can make sure that you're on the right track. That's going to be the first step. Yeah. Anything else y'all want to talk about? How much time I got before my guest speaker gets to the office? I got about 8 minutes.
Being realistic.
Renters being realistic. What do you want me to elaborate?
Some of them want to rent, knowing they have a very limited budget. They're not realistic on what rates are.
Rent rates, what do you mean?
So how much they pay for rent?
I mean, I don't know, rent rates are ridiculous though. I mean, like,
But
that's
they
why you should buy.
But they got to understand it's ridiculous.
They need to know.
You can't call me and say you need a 3-bedroom in Beverly and want to spend $900 a month.
That's true. Well, let's just talk about renting in general. So rent rates are ridiculous, completely ridiculous. So I don't know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath raised ranches out here near our office, Caveman City, they go for like $1,200, $1,400 a month. I could own 2 houses for the combination of that. So that's important. You got to really, really look at it. When you're renting, and I know certain people want certain, my guest speaker is here, so let me hurry up. So people want certain things, you know, they want to, you know, rent and pay a certain amount of money. If you're renting, I really, really think that you should spend the bare minimum for your rental. Hold on. Okay, you should spend the bare minimum on your rental, because you should be saving your money while you're renting. And if you're renting and you're unable to save every single month, like, you should reevaluate your situation and your finances, and try to find a cheaper place to rent so that you can buy, because buying will save you more money. So my guest speaker is here, and so we're about to have a training, and it's fun, but it's gonna get noisy.
I'm so glad it's continuing.
Inbox me, call me, y'all know where we at. Premier West Realty. Bye.